I want to say, like, today is one of those days where we have the finals of the group stage with some very high caliber players present that typically are reserved for the later stages of the tournament or the
Yeah.
earlier stages of the group stage.
It's like interesting on many layers, right? Because a lot of people might look at that and give him Marine Lord's history, like, oh yeah, he's got it, he can beat B. But you have to remember that B almost beat Anatand, who then 3-1'd Marine Lord. B also, like in his third place matchup against LucifroN just the other day, 3-0'd him, right? So like he's got some tricks up his sleeves. It's a little bit of a concerning opponent, especially when you consider that B has always looked best when we are at the beginning of something new. And we are a month into a new expansion. There's still so much that hasn't been explored.
100%. So many things that are still out there, so many different unit interactions that we just don't know too much about just because they haven't been seen too many times. And, you know, it's always difficult to judge B's performance, just of course because he plays so many different RTS at such a high level. Like, the dude is juggling so many different RTS esports at the same time. It's kind of insane while having a family, no less. But first off, we're going to be jumping into our first game of our first series. It's going to be LucifroN up against Scarlet Devil here. And finally, we actually get to see the Civilization draft, the sniping mechanic in action, as we see LucifroN here with Rus and Japan on King of the Hill, getting Japan sniped out, and Scarlet Devil with the Order of the Dragon and the Byzantines, with Byzantines getting sniped here for him. So it's going to be Rus up against Order of the Dragon here in our game number 1 on King of the Hill.
Yeah, you know what's kind of interesting to me is like, look at the draft. There was an opportunity to get Sengoku in there. And it wasn't snatched, which to me is the biggest shock of this draft. But looks like we're already underway. No time to waste at all. We go into King of the Hill to see who's going to kick this off with a dubbed victory. Final series of the group stage for each group today. We kick off with Scarlet Devil up against LucifroN, Order of the Dragon to face the Rus.
Here we go, jumping right in. And I gotta say, like, I really like, not just like, I love this version of King of the Hill, the EGC variant specifically, mainly due to the fact that a ton of the sheep, or rather the major the majority of the sheep, spawn right next to your TC at the beginning of the game. It just, you know, sheep, it can be a very annoying RNG factor in the game, but taking just a little bit of that RNG factor away, or at least making it not as borderline oppressive as it potentially can be in certain other scenarios, just makes this map so much more balanced. And I gotta say, like, King of the Hill, it's one of those maps where aggression is forced, like really, really forced in a way, but going out on the map and like taking resource there is still very much rewarded, or like playing defensively can also still very much be an option. It has such an interesting dynamic, which is one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite maps in the entire map pool, and especially the EGC variant of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm there with you on it. I mean, another part for me is the cliffs. I love the strategic layering the cliffs. The RNG of the OG version left a bit of a bad taste in the mouth, but now you kind of have this convergence, right? Where you go in, you branch off, you come back around. So there's a little bit more pull back and forth, a little bit more strategic choice than just I have a straight line up the hill. And then also, it's just a feeling that quite often it almost feels like it's been cut and mirrored, which I think isn't a bad thing. But you're definitely spot on with the sheep. Like, this is a big thing that I've always praised Caillou with. You know, it's something that I worked with him on a few of my maps, and he's already been doing when I asked him to create a few. He was very big on getting this idea down of let's have sheep near your base, and that's it. And I think the majority of players that have played on a Caillou map thank him because of that change.
Yeah, I mean, when you can't make him spawn fairly, just spawn him right next to TC, right? Like, I think that's a pretty good way of looking at things. But now Ajax are going to be coming in. We are going to be getting the Archon Chapel in for the Order of the Dragon for Scarlet Devil. Very nice position on that Archon Chapel. Is going to be having exactly 4 tiles between his TC and then Archon Chapel. So enough for 2... Actually, is it 4 or is it just 3? It might just be 3. It looks like 3. Yeah,
I think it's 3, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate, not quite as optimal as it could have been, but it's still going to be a nice in the back, and is going to boost the majority of the gathering early on here for him. Already on stone at the same time, so maybe we're going to be getting a 2TC play from the Order of the Dragon player here.
It does feel like that's the way a lot of Order of the Dragon players are going at the moment. Like, they kind of shifted back towards the 2TC meta. I've seen a few people trying the fast castle. Core probably chief among them. I think his match history is like 50 plus or the Dragon games in a row. He's been doing a lot of
Played
like
a lot of
fast
them,
Regnets.
yeah. He's been doing everything actually. He's been playing around with all the different OTD strategies at the moment.
Yeah. And it does feel like with the people here in the EGC Finals, the few times we've been seeing OTD, unless it's like water involved in the equation, it does seem like the prerogative is these kind of 2 TC builds, which, if you remember, like quite some time ago, I think Puppy Paw and Wham really were the ones that kicked this off in pro play. Like, they stood by that type of build, even when most people bailed on it.
Yeah, they were kind of fiendish with the Order of the Dragon, I have to say. Like, they really knew how to make them work time and time again, when a lot of other players had already kind of like given up. Very similar to like the Spanish players, where I think we had Vortex for the longest time putting OTD in S tier in his tier lists.
I swear he was
just
lying
to throw
to us.
other. Yeah, I'm not sure. I was gonna say I'm not sure if this was just to like trick other pro players and into like think that's actually like a really strong civ. But I can see the points for it, right? Like the civilization, there are some busted unit compositions that you can actually go for, which in mass are incredibly difficult to play up against. Mainly when I'm thinking about like Minework, Horsemen, and the Landsknechte in combination with it. Like, if you get your opponent trapped between Horsemen and Landsknechte, Gilded Landsknechte no less, it's like melee fast-hitting mangonels. Just everything in their radius disintegrates.
Agreed. Like, I think when they first got out of the game, I was like, oh, Landsnake is probably their best unit. But it's very tricky to get the comp together, right? Like, that's why most people go for Gilded Crossbowmen. Gilded Crossbowmen are the goats for them. There are situations where also the Gilded Archers are god tier. It's just kind of awkward. You need static fights. Like, this might be the type of map where it's viable, though, right? Like, you're usually thinking, how can I add archers into my comp here? Because if you do go for, like, a knight heavy comp or men-at-arms, whatever it's going to be, you know food is very limited. Like, most of the time, if anything, this map kind of comes down to how efficient you can be with the initial food, and then how quickly you can kind of slot in static defenses and siege.
Pro Scout's going to be coming in here for LucifroN. Is going to be adding in a knight on his side as well. Scarlet Devil there already has the outpost up on his gold vein. Arrow slits and placement coming in on top of that. So I don't think LucifroN really has any great angles here when it comes to punishing this play from Scarlet Devil. Already adding in a couple of farms just to make sure that his farm transition is going to be as smooth as possible. Yeah, he's setting himself up here for a very nice mid-game, I want to say. Like, the timing for him is looking quite nice. LucifroN, his food income is about to genuinely explode.
Genuinely?
Genuinely explode, yeah. Not literally, because then he would lose food, but yeah, it's going to go through the roof, let's just put it like that.
What, are you telling me grenade hunting is not an efficient form of hunting?
I would say for ponds, yes. For wild meat, probably not as much. You don't want to, like, suddenly chew on shrapnel.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I learned all my
Extra
hunting from
crunch.
Far Cry 3, and in Far Cry 3, grenades work perfectly. But, like, is it dynamite fishing? I think grenade fishing might be less efficient. We need that now.
Knight is coming in.
Chunking
actually-
villages,
nah.
though. Nah, it's like...
Yeah, it's
so good.
like textiles built in.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, actually, like, with this type of placement as well that came in from Scarlet, interesting that he chose to just jam the TC right next to the Arhan, not even leaving space for farms around it. I mean, I guess it's for the garrison safety, but I thought maybe he'd just try a short wall on the west side of the Arhan, like he's doing on the east side, and then you just kind of get that efficiency of the Ark Chapel for your farms as you go deeper.
Barracks is now coming in for Scarlet Devil, but this has to be a Burgrave play, I want to say, for the Order of the Dragon. Like, when you already go for that second TC play, you know you're not going to be the first one to hit the Castle Age, and yeah, with the timing that's going to be coming in, Scarlet, he has to realize Burgrave is probably his best chance just to get value out of it, because just having the Burgrave is like almost equivalent to 5 relics worth of just passive income. Rather not passive income, but rather saved resources whenever you pump units out.
This does feel a little bit weird, though, right? Like, what he's essentially done is he's sacrificed all deer to a Pro Scout play on a tempo aggressive civ for that castle timing. Now, Horse Archers are not as impactful as they once were. So, curious to see if he's going to go towards them, because they did receive some noteworthy nerfs with the drop of the expansion, to the point that they don't feel like your go-to bread and butter unit anymore.
Yes and no. I wouldn't necessarily call it a nerf. I would say it's more how do I say this politically correct? It's a restructuring of their core strengths. Yeah,
right. Yeah, like when we restructure the company and like 50 people lose their job. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much like that. So basically, they've been slimmed down a little bit. Nah, I'm kidding. Wait, what? It's a little bit funny because Cav Archers, they used to counter their counter, as in horsemen. In mass, horse archers would absolutely demolish them. Now horse archers do no longer demolish horsemen. They're still good against unarmored units, like really, really good against them. Actually buffed against unarmored units when it comes to trading out against archers, trading out against spearmen, trading out against crossbows, for example, as well. They are a lot better at raiding now as well, with a much quicker attack speed. They're just no longer unanswerable. You can kill them with horsemen, finally, or knights.
Yeah, that's the big one to me, is knights. Knights actually feel like they can contest it now, whereas before it could be quite annoying for them. Interestingly enough, the changes, though, they do a little bit better against foot archers, because they have a lower attack speed, but obviously lower damage. And in fairness, like, you know, they haven't really changed much in their role of eliminating villagers. Like, a standard villager has 50 HP, used to have 12 damage, now you have 10, so it's the same amount of shots with that metric at least to get a kill. So, like, for their intended roles, they're still good. It's just if you're a Roost player that for the last 4 years has just been building horse archers and giggling to yourself, go to hell. You now have a harder time. And
finally.
It's about time. Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, it was just such an oppressive playstyle, right? Like, just going for those mass cavalry archer units. You can still do that in theory, but now there's actual counterplay. And now we got a knight here being a little bit too curious. Getting some gilded crossbow bolts to the face, but actually able to get out alive there. And LucifroN still stacking them. Already on triple warrior monks at the moment. So it stands to reason that every single relic on the map is going to be going over in his possession. He's also going to be getting control over that sacred site. Scarlet, though, behind this, pumping out more crossbows, non-stop building up his spearman count from that Burgrave Palace. So he's going to be able to get quite a strong infantry mass going here. And never forget, like, the Arcan economy with the farms already present. He's looking very strong in that regard, like, economy-wise, long-term.
Yeah, he'll be nicely bolstered. And I think the goal here now is going to try to prep around that central sacred site like you always inevitably do. Stone gathering, I imagine you're going to just set up some spring replacements on the flanks here, but then it's nice for kind of a crawl into the center, you know. A lot of people just like to think straight away drop a castle, but that's a huge investment. It's usually quite a lot easier just to drop 2 or 3 outposts and then rely on them to push yourself in.
Yeah, wooden fortresses are also just a tanky baseline, and you can upgrade them to provide you with a ton of line of sight. Ultra Dragon, they also get additional line of sight on their outposts as well. So both of these civilizations can get a huge amount of vision by just dropping an outpost in the middle of the map next to a sacred site.
Yeah, it's actually pretty insane just how much vision OTD and A3 used to get. I think they nerfed it down by like 20% or something. Because it was ludicrous, because you would be able to buff it up with a relic afterwards, and then it was the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah. It's basically like the Imperial Palace from the Chinese, except you know, don't invest nearly as much into it.
What's the high trade house, by the way? I imagine you got like, what, 190? 200? 240?
No, it should be more than 200. Yeah.
Yeah. You still got one more tier as well. Wasn't
Exactly.
sure if you got
So
the
should be
full
like
jam
should be like 250 to 260.
Yeah, and
All
that's going
said
to
and
be
done.
really nice. Just lets him focus primarily on the food in the wood. Wonder if we'll see him eventually try to sneak out towards the ball stacks on the east and the west side. Like, the weakness of what Scarlet is doing here is mobility. So this is where cavalry tends to be dominant in the early mid game. Is like, if the boar is on the menu, that's very far away. Especially with the way this map often spawns with the bracket formations on the cliffs.
Oh, LucifroN, he's committing for a dive here. A little bit too brave. Scout's done a nice job of, you know, just constricting the access into his economy from LucifroN with these couple of walls here and some outposts. Knights are in. Might actually be able to get a second villager. Oh my god, that's filthy.
He's like, yeah, just that
Another
one right there.
Okay.
I'm not really sure if that was entirely worth it, really. Like, you
with
know,
double
3
TC, it
kills?
doesn't matter as much, right? Like, he lost 4 knights, actually. I think there were some additional knights at the beginning that died before they even made it all the way in. So yeah, heavy losses there as well. And Scarlet's economy is looking good either way. Like, just looking at the raw amount of income that he has at the moment, he's already ahead of LucifroN.
we've got massed horse archers, by the way. LucifroN is looking to go back to the pew pew ponies now. Kind of interesting mechanisms here. Like, if Order of the Dragon sniffs it out quick enough, Gilded Archers can actually be pretty effective here with, like, the scale armor. Obviously, he's not seeing it, though, so he's going to continue men-at-arms and crossbows. But that actually might not be the worst thing in the world, considering that LucifroN is blobbing horsemen as well.
Scarlet already adding in just a couple of men-at-arms, so he's going to have a nice tanky front line there as well. Still non-stop making those spearmen. And when you get to a very large spearman count, they actually do have a surprisingly high amount of health, so even a couple of volleys from some horse archers aren't necessarily going to be enough to take them down. Now adding in some Landsknechte in as well. If those don't go unanswered, then
yeah, this is really nice as well, though.
Wreak some real havoc.
Because also, like the horse archer point there, you know, you'd be better off just having archers here that do double damage. Because their double damage will equal out to the horse archers anyway. Only you would have paid half the price, right? So it's pretty rough, actually, to try and snipe this Lance. I mean, if we click on it, you see, I think it's 170 HP at this stage in the game. It's no small quantity.
The crossbow's actually getting close enough to being able to one-shot the horseman now as well.
An outpost.
But I think that's before Boyer's Fortitude, so they can still get a little bit tankier.
He got it. He actually.
Yeah, he already got it, and they still get almost one-shot? Okay, damn.
Yoda crossbows. Backbone of every dragon army, right? Oh, so reliable.
Oh, Scarlet Devil, I love this. He's realizing that, sure, my Order of the Dragon units are almost twice as good as my opponent's units, but they're not quite twice as good. He's adding in Predators now in order to buff them up.
Yeah, Inspired Warriors buff. Just a huge, immensely valuable target for Order of the Dragon, especially when you're focusing on these base damage heavy units like the Lanchk. And there's going to be the castle drops. LucifroN, who stockpiling for this for a while. I think he actually maybe pump tickets as well as collect a stone home. It's going to be worrisome, actually. I mean, Scarlet, he's got a decent number of spears. A heavy investment in crossbows, so hasn't got the immediate breach power onto a keep.
Yeah, there's always the difficulty, right? Like, once that keep goes up, it's immediate, just such a big fortification spot there for you. Especially against so many unarmored units from Scarlet, they can't just remain there indefinitely. Little wall coming in from LucifroN, and he loves to do this. We've seen him do this time and time again whenever he plays French, or when we had, like, French mirrors in tournaments, where he would, like, drop these small little walls around his gold vein.
Oh yeah, not just that. Like you see him do it with like boars close to the edge of the map on Dry Arabia, or another really popular one for him. Lamau for such damage. Another really popular one for him was TC drops on the edge of maps, so that you couldn't rotate past them. Right, like very crafty kind of approaches for a very long time out of this player. But we do now have the man going follow up. He's in the crossbows. He finds them wanting. I wonder if actually Springalds would ever be on your mind as well for LucifroN.
He could. He definitely has the option, so if he wanted to, he can just add him in. This is frustrating at the moment. The slow infantry unable to chase after the cavalry archers, but still needs to respect them. So probably best for him to just drop a couple of outposts next to the gold vein and allow himself the opportunity, at least, to stop chasing after these.
We will see the stockpile and stone continuing. So more castles soon to come. Only 5.5 minutes left on the clock. Scarlet doesn't really have clean siege power here. You know, like it's definitely not diesel powered. It's definitely not petrol powered. But the point is, like, it's just full torch only. And multi-castles can be very difficult to dive, even for Order of the Dragon.
Both cavalry archers are getting sniped out there. Sacred Side victory now down to 5 minutes. So the timing is starting to get a little bit uncomfortable here for Scarlet Devil. He's getting closer to 200 out of 200 population count. Already 50 pop ahead of LucifroN at the moment. But LucifroN, with just looking at this spot here, where he's... how do we describe this KP? Bunkered himself in? Like a little goblin on top of the hill at the moment?
He's padlocked himself to the rock and is singing "We Shall Not Be Moved" in Spanish. How's that? Let me just get that up in Spanish for you guys and badly communicate it. Yeah, so the horse archer is just being annoying as well. It's just a cost-efficient way of just keeping Scarlet dancing into him a little bit. And it's just kind of keeping space, right? Because like he needs to get that breathing room for the second castle drop. That is going to be a lot more forward.
Scarlet is about to pull the trigger on the final engagement here.
yeah.
Already 3 mangonels though behind this, and yeah, LucifroN, he wants to force him into a choke point to take that final engagement. We're now seeing the first trebuchets come in. I think Scarlet, like, he legitimately needs to go up to like 3-foot trebuchets to take the keep out in a significant timely manner. But there's a second keep now coming up from LucifroN behind all of this.
Yeah, it's going to be too soon for the trebuchet to eliminate it, I think, as well. Gonna try to force the engagement. Scarlet dives in. We'll just get to work. The mangoes ready to unload. They look for the clustered up spears. Catch a few of them. Crossbow's now getting in range as well. Trying to brute force that choke. The villagers are unharassed currently. The Gilded Crossbowmen moving into assist, and this is where the mangoes are going to shift up. They're looking for that back line, but they can't go for it. He's getting cracked a little bit fast here. Horsemen do get around the back. They get the mangoes low, but not able to finish them off. And you can't help but feel that that heavily armored line of Scarlets is starting to get a little bit thin on HP. Mangoes get a great wallop. Crossbow count down to just a handful left, but the mangoes are starting to get intercepted here. The castle drop has failed. He has not been able to get the defenses up. The decap is now coming through. Scarlet able to show you the power of these chunky dragons.
Now the keep, it's not down yet, but the mangonel, rather not the mangonel, the trebuchets are finally starting to throw some rocks across the map. Second trebuchet now out as well. Keep has been denied and is about to be going down as well. Scarlet Devil still trying to decap the sacred side, and oh no, LucifroN, he's pulling villagers. His economy is pretty much completely out now. He's so desperately trying to keep it up, but hey, it's done. GG comes in.
I mean, Gilded more like goated. What a play out of Scarlet Devil. Opens the series against probably the group's favorite, if you go into this tournament, with a win. He's still got some way to go, but this is the lifeline. We talked about you not wanting to be in that lower bracket. They now, even up on the scoring, I think actually this puts Scarlet Devil ahead by 1 point. If it goes a long distance, I think there's some tiebreaker rules, but a phenomenal kickoff for him as well. Like, Order the Dragon, just not really a civ that many people are looking at as seriously currently. Even more so when you consider that everyone's moaning about, like, Sengoku. You know, I was casting some Scarlet, Order the Dragon rather versus Sengoku games the other day, and it's kind of depressing for OTD. So there's even less reasons for people to want to practice this right now, but pays off perfectly. Devil with a win.
Yeah, so now is going to be leading 1-0 already in this best of 5. Definitely not something that we expected here straight off the bat, just because, like LucifroN, as you mentioned, he is kind of the favorite player here. But just kind of goes to show, because whenever we do look at Scarlet Devil, he has an excellent sense of judgment when it comes to when can I just run in and ignore defensive structures. I've seen it time and time again from him whenever there's a keep, he knows, okay, I can just run past this, ignore it, still take a fight underneath it, and be fine. And here in this situation, he took some excellent judgment when he realized, okay, now's my timing, either now or never. And he took that fight, and it paid off brilliantly there for him.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting with men at arms. Like, you'd think without the mind work, they wouldn't last quite long enough, but this is the deception always with Order the Dragon units. I mean, the other part of it that's pretty rough for LucifroN, I think it's much harder to leverage mangonels quite often against the OOTD. It takes so much longer to just get an elimination, so it feels like you're just not getting efficient trades. And we kind of saw that, right? Like, that extra health bar went the distance getting that gap close, where other civs would have had double the crossbow count, and it would have turned into a bloodbath with rocks falling from the sky.
Next up, though, we are going to be moving over to another fan favorite in regards of maps here. It's going to be Frisian Marshes coming up next, and we'll be seeing the Holy Roman Empire coming in from LucifroN up against the RU bits from Scarlet Devil. And we kind of talked about this another day as well, how the Chinese players, specifically Scarlet Devil, Louis MT, CSO, they love playing RU bits with mass Desert Raiders.
Oh, yeah. It's actually ridiculous how effective they can make it look. I mean, it tells you that they came from a team background when you see how far they take it. And, you know, depending on which kind of builds you're going to be seeing come out of the HRE, it's not like the craziest matchup to do it in, right? If you see him starting to get into, like, you know, a more men-at-arms focus of switch over in Feudal Age, you could actually have an opening there. But just, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Dervish beginning for hybrids. I feel like the Dervish wing has now become the most popular by far. And then we are also quickly seeing a lot of players diversifying into the industry wing for the Castle Age.
Yeah, industrying is a very interesting one, but more often than not, I feel like, especially for these Chinese players, they still tend to prefer the reinforcement wing in Castle Age, just because like 3 additional Desert Raiders every 2 minutes. It is a pretty big payout to have in general. Like it equates to what is it, like 270 resource per minute in terms of military units that you're getting. We have landmarks in the game that give you more in Castle Age, but they typically rely on a condition. For example, the Grand Filani Corral relies on the condition, of course, of you actually investing into the cattle. The Regnitz relies on you actually being able to get relics. But just baseline, having 270 resource worth of units every single minute, that's something that you can only somewhat like compete with when it comes to, like, for example, having a great high trade house placement.
Yeah, and it's also the fact they're just getting injected into the game straight away, right? Like, yes, you wait the 2 minutes, but then they're there. It's like an extra production building that just casually pops in, and you can't discredit the value of that, right? Like, we often talk about with civs like French, like, which actually got sniped out here. French have a great field day with that element. Is like they start the age and they're already a production building in, which gives them a huge edge on tempo, and that especially hits true for that castle beginning when the first 3 Desert Raiders pop out. Of course, the other build we did used to see a lot, which I think is an easier way of realizing just how good that type of landmark is when we used to have the Desert Raider in feudal builds, where it was too good to the point they had to actually nerf the first one's spawn point because it was too oppressive.
Yeah, and Castle Age they do spawn immediately, so you immediately have some units coming out, which helps you a ton when you're getting harassed for that fast Castle Age transition point. Now, as you mentioned, French did get sniped here over on the side for LucifroN. On the side for Scarlet Devil, Ottomans is the civilization that did get sniped out. Makes a lot of sense. We've seen some great things from Ottomans here on Frisian Marshes, just courtesy of having those very, very cheap docks, only paying 90 wood per dock. But guess what, KP? There is another civilization that doesn't need to pay as much for the docks, and that's right, it's the Ayubids only paying 75 wood for their docks, meaning that they can also very reasonably here go for some early dock play. But the HRE, they can also, well, they don't need to go for a dock play per se, but they can go for some Dark Age Rex, and their spearmen, they are a little bit faster than your everyday spearmen.
Yeah, it feels like the Sonic soundtrack should start playing when those guys get moving. And I mean, it's awkward as well because you play Dark Aggro into them. Not that Ibids would, but if you do, that fuel switch comes in, they're immediately injected with more speed, but they will be speedy, boys. As we kick off game number 2, it's actually going to be... No, this is HRE. We just need to switch those colors around. We are going to get HRE coming in for LucifroN with a Rax opening on Frisian Marshes to try and punish the expected greed of Scarlet Devil's Ibids.
Yeah, Scarlet Devil, though, he is not going to be going for that early dock play, at least not quite yet. Instead, we'll be seeing him starting us off here with the standard fast feudal age build, already going over to the gold vein now. Besides this, LucifroN, of course, we did see those early spearmen coming in. He's going to look and do some damage here. I think Scarlet Devil, he's got a good enough timing here when it comes to the moment that he went out on gold that he should be able to gather up enough for the advancement to the feudal age in time before the spearman arrives. So it is going to be quite the dicey timing. Actually, he might need to pull some additional villagers over to gold.
Yeah, it's feeling like it's probably going to be inevitably here at this kind of pointing, right? Like, 'cause the thing with HRE is they just come in a lot quicker with this spearman timing than other civs. They've got better income at the start of the game. They also have the spearman moving faster. Don't necessarily expect this to turn into an outpost rush, just because, like, when you look at the gold placements, it's very hard to block out both. Like, best case scenario here for LucifroN is he'd be able to outpost the berries and the gold, which is annoying. But considering that second gold is close to a tree line, there is ways you can play around it with, like, a wall and an outpost.
Spearman, first one, is soon going to arrive. Actually, he did go over to the ponds first. Did want to look out for any potential dock play there. Scarlet Devil is now going to be confronted with that first spearman. What's the reaction going to be? Shivs or, just some proper walking boots? Yeah, he's
Fine, I didn't want this gold anyway.
Oh, he's trying to get him stuck there.
He's going to be 2 gold short, right? Like, yeah, there you go. He's full of more workers. We've all seen this happen before. Like, up to 8 nuggets on that one villager. Like, maybe I wait a bit longer. It's just not worth the gamble. So
yeah, he's got it. This is where the culture wing comes in, the logistics wing, where it's just really great. You now have a ton of very weak villagers. You just have the dervish just stand there for us. Okay, never mind. It's not going to be that. Caster's Curse coming in. We're seeing the growth rate, the growth wing instead. So
That's pretty
the
different.
option would have been, of course, to heal up your weak villagers, but why heal them up when you can just have more?
That's true. Okay, you know, because
That's,
like it inspires them as well. If they see that other people have been whooped because they weren't working hard enough, they'll just naturally work harder. It's just smart.
Yeah, it's some opposite mentality right there.
It is interesting though. Like it's not the most popular of wings these days. There's some matchups where it still makes sense. I think what's cool here is maybe the idea of like you try to play tempo and feudal, and then afterwards maybe duck out with a dervish play in castle because like you're against HRE, you have to be conscious of the win condition for them, which is relics.
Something nice here, also helping Scarlet Devil out, is of course with that House of Wisdom, the additional 5 fire armor here means that it's going to take him quite a while to take down this mining camp.
Soon. Maybe not soon enough. I mean, he did stop at 2 though, so it's not the most frustrating situation for him. I think LucifroN was just paranoid about one of those fast castle builds that Ivids love to do every single game. This play isn't necessarily going to stop him, it will just slow him down. Like, you know, maybe you open archery range to respond. It might just be that Scarlet goes for like a stables and adds in 1 Desert Raider, just because like if you open archers here, HRE loves to play archer on archer. You know, the Aachen Chapel placements on the wood line, it's very difficult for most civs to actually ego chow that.
A-Job about to finish. LucifroN should soon be able to hit the A-Job as well. It'll be interesting to see what exactly he's going to be going for. Whether we'll be seeing a Spanish mine work or going to be going for the Aachen Chapel. Honestly, with the spawn that he has, I think a mine work would be very reasonable, but just knowing that it's LucifroN, we might still be getting a chapel in the... No, it is going to be a mine work. Okay. I like this a lot more for his spawn.
Yeah, so I think the main times you'd expect LucifroN and Vortex to go Aachen is when they're still thinking pro scouts. You don't really want to pro scouts on a map that can have fish here. But it could have been good for it. Yeah, like you said, just the tree lines. Usually it just feels very safe, and then down the line you can set up the farms. But I think for LucifroN, there's kind of a tempo in mind here. You know, sometimes we see mine work is about the budded armor. Not so sure about that here, though, considering up against IU. This feels like it might be a blob, horseman, spearman, and go.
Would be an option, for sure. I think it's one of the main ways they can really like hurt IU bits, especially with the HRE, is just go for that all-in timing. We do see Scarlet Devil adding in some military now as well. And now also going for his own dogplay behind this.
Yeah, a little bit delayed on the timing, though. But he has got the archers, so, you know, to justify the investment, right? Just step across.
Yeah. But now lots of villagers back over to the gold vein, so... Okay. Looks like this is just going to be like a feigned investment potential. I don't think he's going to invest too much into trying to keep these pawns safe. Just barely enough in order to force investment from LucifroN into trying to take them down. Behind this, he is still going to be just looking for the age-up into Castle Age. But LucifroN, great scouting. He's going to see this play now with his scout in just a little bit. He's going to be aware of just what type of gameplay, or rather game plan, Scarlet is looking for.
It's still pretty rough, though, right? Like, what's happening here? You're going to have the outpost coming up, which is going to make it a little bit harder to brute force. Your opponent's already merrily halfway on his way towards castle, so I don't know if you really get that much value out of mine work here.
I mean, mine work always gives you a good amount of value out of it, just baseline. Especially when you age up to Castle Age, like the steel barding is just such a big upgrade to have on your knights. When you're up against a really good knight counter, or rather, like, really good but like really solid knight counter, like the Camel Lancer or the Desert Raider, having an additional 2 armor means that the Desert Raider, their ranged attack suddenly deals a lot less damage to you. They're not going to be able to kite you indefinitely with their ranged attack. So it gives you a scaling chance, or rather just a fighting chance in general with your knights up against them.
That's true. I think it's just like, if your opponent goes Cam Lances, it's a little bit more annoying. Of course, you can always, of course, trade better than you would otherwise, because of the budded armor. But you did call it Desert Raiders. Why did I want to believe it would be something else? Scarlet does go for the expected. A little bit surprised by this, just because it means you won't necessarily have the quickest timing to pull out towards relics, but I guess his bigger concern is that if LucifroN is all-inning him, there's no point being able to rush relics straight away, because you won't be able to get out of your base.
Speaking of all-inning, that seems to be the name of the game here. LucifroN still pumping out units non-stop behind this, is now rushing forward here. And we're seeing Siege Engineering being one of the first upgrade queued, of course, also a lot cheaper now, courtesy of having that mine work. So only... It's actually ridiculous just how cheap these upgrades are when you just look at the mine work palace. You do actually genuinely save just a ton of resources on that.
Oh, and time.
He hasn't invested... Yeah, you haven't invested into any additional prelates yet, but that's something that I think you should definitely do. Just in general, like, keep making prelates, one for every 9 villagers. But still, just on the side note, saving so many resources in terms of the upgrades, and the upgrade timing is also much smoother for you. Yeah, we're going to be seeing a pretty strong ram push coming in here now from him.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about tempo, this landmark, right? At first, people are like, oh man, the discounts don't seem that big, but it actually is. Like you saw in the price you were saying yourself, it's a decent savings, but on top of that, it's faster, right? It's 50% faster, and also you're saving 150 wood not having to build a blacksmith. Like, all these little details together, if you understand how to execute the first 10 minutes of Age of Empires 4 at a master level, you can get insane values out of this landmark. Oh, Scarlet's like, okay, I don't want it anyway.
Yep. He's got enough gold in the bank. He actually saved all the way up to almost 600 gold in the bank, so he can still get some upgrades in on his units and get a reasonable army size going.
I think the dock has been scoured. LucifroN moves the archers over to try and snipe down the fishing boats. Let's get the one. He'll just come back across. Not really worth splitting himself here. Tech up completes. He does see that it's the Desert Raiders. And it's going to be a Ghoulam follow-up. We're getting that strategy. Okay.
Ghoulam makes a lot of sense just because right now you're in a position where you can't get up a lot more gold. So you need to be very, very cautious with how you invest your gold. I actually see a single Camel Lancer coming in for Scarlet Devil, but other than that, just because he does, like, he's got food access for the time being. He doesn't have gold access, so yeah, it's for the time being it's just gonna be Ghulams for the most part.
One thing that does concern me a bit is no blacksmiths, not much gold, so probably not getting undermesh, which means right now these archers are doing double the damage they otherwise would against Ghulams. Nice dive pass, just goes straight for the Desert Raider. You can see, actually, like, these Ghulams, I think this is often the folly we see with this strategy that makes it look really bad. It's like being forced to urgently rush Ghulams out one by one is a quick way to make sure they never look that strong.
And the archers behind us, the backline, it's still stuck in feudal age for the time being.
Look, Camel Lancer. Okay, this Scarlet is... he's just thrown away a lot already.
Yeah, he's falling apart at this point in time. We're now also seeing the owl pikes coming in, so those spearmen will also start doing more damage to those Ghulams as well.
Reaches the tree line as well, has a second wave coming in. He can harass under the berries. Scarlet, I mean, it's just... nothing's coming together here. Kind of feels like he's probably about 40 seconds from falling apart.
Yeah, 40 to just 7 military out at the moment. And archers on the berries.
He was waiting the whole time.
He's caught out. No more food access. There's nothing. He's got no food. All he has is the one dog.
But has he got 2 fishing boats still? I think that's about it. That's literally it. It's just getting maybe like 100 food a minute, if he's lucky. Yeah, Archer's now diving in again. Gets through the Desert Raiders once more.
Running out.
What? Where are you all going? Oh, okay. Yeah, game 3, please. I mean, I always feel this way when it's watching Bastard replays. I wouldn't want to be a villager in their civilization. I have been meant to look after their people a bit better, but LucifroN, he's still recommitting. I love this. We see this a lot more, and I feel like we're seeing players take it even further these days. Double down, and a double down afterwards.
Yeah, there was a game plan here for Scarlet Devil. In the end, it got found out by LucifroN when that scout ran around and he saw, okay, my opponent suddenly has 10 villagers on gold. He doesn't have a good military. He tried to also go for a dock boom behind this. I'm just going to all in him. And yeah, went for it, and it worked out perfectly well for him here.
Yeah, and like I said, the fact he's not stopped doing it, that's the key here. Like, a lot of people are like, okay, that's a good enough lead, I'll tech up now. No, he starts to smell the blood in the void. It's like, okay, you actually haven't stabilized to a point that you're threatening yet. It's 4 Ghulams, 3 Desert Raiders. It's not incredible.
Ram now starting to snipe out the market. One villager wanted to potentially go for another dock. Needs the food desperately. But is getting found out once again. Scarlet, he's so desperate for food at the moment. But there's just no way for him to get access to it.
No, and now the push is coming in towards the tree line. Archers aren't going to get upgraded either, that's the thing. Right, it's Feudal Archer v Feudal Archer. The Desert Raiders just don't have enough DPS, and the Ghoulims are comically slow. But don't worry, because Papa LucifroN's going to come to you. Jumps on in, melee ranged mosh pit, and a quick evening of the series as LucifroN strikes back.
GG, set evened out in the second game, 1-1 each now in this best of 5. Just like that, the score is even yet again between them. Scarlet Devil, though, he's been making a good impression on us so far, at least when it came to the first game here. The second game, there was a clear game plan that started to, paint itself, and LucifroN, he saw the painting in the making and was like, oh, you're about to draw a line there? He switched out the paper, KP. He switched out the paper, and you can't draw that well on sandpaper, I'll tell you what.
No. At this point, it just felt like he was actually trying to walk on spikes, just to get through this sticky early game. I think, looking back at this, like, what could have Scarlet done different? I mean, maybe it doesn't feel great to play a long feudal against Atria, right? Unless you've got lots of fishing set up. So, did this feel cooked from the start to you?
I think it started feeling quite cooked the second LucifroN scouted that Scarlet just pulled 10 villagers back over to gold. At that point, it's like, okay, you're now going to be in a position where the all-in from the Atria is going to hit you rather hard. You need to do more to secure food, actually. Like, you don't actually need that much gold, because the plan to make camel lances in that position, it's a foolish one. Don't make camel lances, not even a single one. You need all the gold that you have for just Ghoulims, and then you need food. You just need as much food as possible to actually sustain Ghoulim production. Once you're up to like 20 Ghoulims, you can actually, or not just 20, but like 10 Ghoulims, you can actually start taking map control again, get your berries in, and from there on out you can play the game normally again. But I feel like it was a little bit foolish adding in 1 to 2 Camel Lancers and going for the ranged Pierce Armor upgrade a little bit on a delay. Yeah, it just didn't work out against the feudal age aggression that came in here. But next up, we are going to be looking towards Coastal Cliffs here. Ottomans, once again, has been sniped out, but that leaves us with a matchup that KP, I like this matchup a lot for the Malians. China versus Malians, I think, is like one of the hardest matchups for China, just because the food just doesn't run out for Mali. It is so difficult to get I want to say, like, a gradual farm transition going with the Chinese. Like, typically, it's one of those things where I think, like, Marine Lord's macro comes into play. You go up to, like, 3,000 wood, and then down to 1,000 wood again, suddenly you have farms. With China, it's very difficult to go for a gradual food, smooth food transition. For Malians, it's their bread and butter. It's just what they do. It's what they're made for.
Yeah, I think, like, to compete with this, you need some sort of timing onto, like, the boars in the center. Chinese players used to do that a lot, right? Where they'd go back for the Barbican, they'd anchor it on, like, a boar plus a deer stack and kind of be okay. But ever since we moved into Pro Scouts, it hasn't really been the full focus. But it is the first picks from both sides, right? China, I think, is a pick in the first slot that a lot of people imagine, but it's kind of crazy how much Malians has caught up in that regard. A lot of players regularly, consistently drafting this above every other pick available to them. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, in a meta where you're never quite sure how the meta is going to evolve, right? Like, are we in a cavalry-centric meta? Is this like a fast castle? Is it a long feudal age meta? Whenever you're not sure, bet on the Malians, because no matter what it is, they have an answer for absolutely everything, except elephants. But other than that, they've got an answer to it.
Well, let's see if they're going to have the answers here. It's time to hop into game number 3. This best of 5 just became a best of 3. And Coastal Cliffs will decide who will be tickling away at match point first. Scarlet Devils Malians or LucifroN's Chinese?
This is one of the main benefits here that we see from the Chinese, of course, in the early game. Having that additional line of sight on your scout means it's so much easier for you to find these sheep. Now, granted, there's actually something, KP, that's annoying me all the time whenever I see this map. Why are there just random straggler trees absolutely everywhere. It is so difficult to see sheep. There's just trees everywhere, and the sheep, they know this, and they hide underneath the trees. They make it
I don't
intentionally hard for you to find them.
I don't see the problem here. Okay, like we
Yeah, I don't
made
see
the
them
sheep
too.
different colors, and the trees are still green crackety. So like, should it not be easier to see all the sheep now?
Well, the leaves might be green, the tree bark, very much it's not.
How are you seeing the tree bark in most of the?
Yeah, I don't even see that either.
Like you got a hell of a zoom in there, son. Yeah, you know what? Like I think the thing that really frustrates me is why is there fish?
That's the thing?
Yeah, still to this day, Avali, like he done this on purpose to frustrate people. Like you don't
Yes.
realize when we started with this map, the amount of times in chat you just get, how do they fish? Is this a fishing map? Why haven't they added boats? Are they noobs? All the time.
Where the docks at?
Yeah, like why are they noobs? Why don't they fish?
Understandable.
I mean, you know,
All right.
it's just wasteful. We could have done away with all those fish and then bred more sheep on this map. Food for thought. So Imperial Academy is
Age
going
up
to be
now
coming in.
coming in. Yeah.
Just the standard. Look at the gold spawn, by the way. Scarlet Devil, if he had been against a more
It's-
aggressive Civ.
I mean, this can still be a very aggressive game plan here from LucifroN, I'll say. Scarlet Devil, he has also a very nice pit mine all the way in the corner, which, of course, you have to walk for a little bit, but also, like, if your opponent wants to go for it, he's gonna have to walk an equal distance with more units to get there. There's an option to sneak a villager out there to build the pit mine in the corner.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if like, there's anything valuable here both side for
LucifroN, did he... Okay, never mind. I don't think he went in that direction in the first place, so I don't think he's even spotted that gold in the corner yet. But he'll find it eventually.
Yeah.
He's gonna still make another round, round around the TC.
I think this has to be Pro Scouts based on the spawn, by the way. Like, he didn't get the ball pulled towards the deer side, so, like, you couldn't just Barbican to secure a lot. I mean, technically, you would get the east side deer corner, but you don't need a full Barbican for that. You can just short wall. So, probably going to be seeing Pro Scouts, because China is one of those civs that's in an identity crisis right now. If they don't Pro Scouts, they kind of don't know who they are. But we've seen a bit of experimentation. Like, people are definitely trying to find another way of playing this civ. But I feel like it's either 90% of games are Pro Scouts straight away or Pro Scouts after 3 minutes.
Definitely an option here for him. Would enable, like, timing-wise, that still enables you to go for a very nice aggression play afterwards as well. Still in the feudal age. Age up now also came in from Scarlet Devil. Are we going to see an immediate commitment into cattle here? He does already have the mill. And yeah, cattle are going to be in queue now for him, so we will see the play into the first cattle ranch. Already the cow boom is going to be well on its way.
And LucifroN still 2 on gold, has the taxation coming in. I imagine a third Imperial official has been queued up at this point. No, he's staying actually a lot lighter on the 2. Oh. And Pumba.
Oh!
It was in range! Oh, that was a nice body block there, Scarlet, just making sure it can't rotate all the way around. I don't think it's going to be able to reach the first house.
Yeah, it's
Right,
not, but
guys,
it's still something
let
that
me.
you have to pay attention to.
It's like, stop harassing him, let him be, okay? You tried to conscript him to your cause. He couldn't reach. But if we get him attacking the pit mine...
LucifroN is not letting up. He's going to go for it again.
Stop beating the pig, man. I thought for a second it was actually going to steer back towards that village.
It did look for it, like, for a second.
He's like,
Alright,
soon,
but scouts
soon.
are going to be coming in now, and Pro Scouts just about finishing up, courtesy of that super speed Imperial official supervision. And it hint at the barracks, and it's going to come in on the other side of the wood line, in range of the Imperial Academy. All that good bonus tax.
Scarlet might not see this. We'll see. I mean, he should eventually rotate the whole way. He actually just checked across the map and then ran back. Like a 50-50 coin flip if he goes south or north here. It looks like he is going to see the racks opening. So already knows what it's up against. But at this point, you already have the stables dropped. You're already committed to the sofa.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just a few spearmen, if he trickles them across, like 2 sofas can take very good trades up against single spears.
And does get
And
full
very good
confirmation.
attack damage as well.
Yeah. So he knows 100% it's Pro Scouts. It felt pretty obvious, but he has confirmation of it now. Archer follow-up's going to be there. LucifroN already taking advantage back to already at the stables now. Horseman and Bloat here could slap pretty hard for LucifroN. With the deer, with that gathering speed, right? Like, you can actually get quite a lot of horsemen out to the point that Sofa can feel a little bit threatened even. But Scarlet, I don't think he wants to play long time with this. You can see he's already up to 6 cow now.
Yeah, so the income's going to be quite nice for him. We're looking at 150 food per minute there, baseline.
Yeah, interesting. Like, most players have just been stopping at the 3 when they've got an offensive build in mind. So, presumably, with this type of strategy, you're going to have to stay in your base a bit more, let your opponent come towards you first. At least you'd think. But here go the sofas.
So it's just getting a couple of hits off. Scarlet Devil now also scaling into archers. This is where I think it can sometimes like really get dangerous with the Malians when you go for this type of composition early on. This is the ideal mid-game composition for the Malians, Sofa and archers. But going for it in the feudal age, before you get all of your unique upgrades in, you can find yourself in a position where you think you can take a fight, just based on the experience of how the units start trading out in Castle Age. But because they're much weaker in feudal age without the unique upgrades, you can misjudge fights quite easily.
Yeah. Honestly, like, when I see Sofa like this, it feels like your goal is to avoid that direct fight. Raid, pull it to the flanks as much as possible, and then gradually play for that upgrade to fall. The Horseman Spearmen are going to march in to try and force the matter. And he's a bit split on the map right now, so... Looks like he's probably going to have to sack the pit mine, just accepting that he can stop a few Pro Scouts, but he won't be able to stop this.
Alright, a lot of units out there for LucifroN. Oh, can we get a potential kill? Oh, not quite.
It's 9 cow, by the way. Yeah. So, like, Scarlet is just sacking this and praying it doesn't go further. Because he's actually secretly being very greedy behind this.
LucifroN not falling back too far. And still just gonna continue burning down buildings.
Or there's the undermesh. Another reason why Scarlet doesn't want to fight right now. Probably let it just wait 30 seconds, but that's more wood down the drain. Interesting. Steps up. LucifroN, bit of a weird control grouping there. Spear's overly eager. He's halfway towards castle already.
Yeah, this is the thing with China. You just make a couple of units, and there needs to be a counter investment from the opponent.
A couple. Can we just, like, really have... 28 is now defined as a couple, at least when you play Chinese.
There's a 2. There's a 2 before the 8, right? So 2, that's a couple, yeah.
Oh, there's a 3 and a 1 now. That's within a couple. Like,
yeah, no longer a couple. Now this is a bunch. After a couple comes a bunch of units.
No. It's between a 3 and a 1. It's a few. I live my life by the might and magic metrics. 1 to 4 is a few. So we've got a few units from China here. Whoa, now he's got several.
That's a bunch, dude, right there.
I'm trying to remember, like, so you got, like, few, several, but then you eventually get to things like zongs is one of the terms for, like,
a gaggle.
So you get a throng, which is over 100, a swarm, zounds, and then a legion. I don't know where zounds came from, though.
It sounds like some sort of League of Legends term. Oh,
Sounds
Horseman
like
raid, Horseman raid.
He gets in the way as well. The villagers didn't pull away straight away. So we would have
These
stick
2 villagers going down. Make that a third. He was a little bit slow. Nope. Lives to tell tale, but the H-up's going to be coming in. Scarlet Devil, he's so far away from potential H-up. It's going to hurt him, man. He didn't go for the army composition that can really, I want to say, like, combat Castle Age units.
Well, not while they're still feudal, that's for sure, because presumably we're going to be looking at, what, Lancers soon? But now, LucifroN is actually choosing to upgrade everything. Horseman, Spearman, all getting juiced up. I wonder if he's just going to wait to see what Scarlet does first before committing in a direction. And he did go Imperial Palace, by the way, so if we have a look at Vision, we'll see that LucifroN can't really get jumped. If he doesn't react to a raid with this much alert and Vision, then he's probably at the point that we need to sign him into a retirement plan. Horseman.
Fighters being taken.
They've ended up as well.
For the most part, still alive.
Yeah, but the villagers are in trouble now. Uh-oh. Has to pull away.
Oh, he's got less units now. Oh, that's going to be painful.
Yeah, it means Vet, right? It's Vet ranged armor 2, which means the TC really isn't doing that much. It'll eventually be pushed away, but damage already being done here. The idle time alone is brutal in this position.
Able to hold, at least for the time being. Archer count pretty much halved. But it was a pretty crucial hold.
Yes.
To say the least.
Behind this, we haven't seen a switch yet out of LucifroN, which is the biggest surprise to me. I thought that dive was going to be accompanied by, like, queuing up Lancers, for example, or queuing up Palace Guard. We're still seeing
his gold somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there
he hasn't spent his gold in economy upgrades either. At least, like, the tier 1 economy upgrades are something that, like, you really need to get as China, because they basically pay for themselves.
Also, just like the tier 1 melee damage at this stage, like you're playing a mass Horseman Spearman, you know, it actually does help a little bit here. Good raid in there, actually chips down the archers again. Grand Fulani Corral now on the way. Scarlet Devil says, I'm in pain, but I'm not done yet.
This feels like he's kind of recovering now at this point. Like, he's got a lot of Sofa still alive. The Grand Fulani Corral is really going to help him when it comes to the food income, and LucifroN already chewed through all of his deer. So, from here on out, LucifroN's only going to get weaker. Scarlet Devil's going to get stronger. Oh, no supervision on the mill. Real official walking over towards it, though.
I wonder if he might need a Barbican in the center just to secure the ball and the berries. The problem is, at this stage in the game, the amount of food workers you want out in that area, a Barbican's not going to be able to protect against castle age sofas.
Something else to always keep in mind with the Malians as well. Once they do hit that castle age, the upgrades for their units, they're a lot cheaper and they come in twice as quickly. So we're immediately now on veteran sofas, and it's not too expensive for him to also upgrade the archers to veterancy as well. The Horseman raid gets spotted out though.
It's a small group this time, no chance of a pin. Oh, he's tug and pulling here, comes back in towards the pitman locations. There's already been a split of the forces, so archers in position with a handful of Sofa. Lancers will charge in, though. Sofa's a little bit reluctant to engage there. Lancer is going to slip into the economy on the gold line.
The Horseman at the exact same time come in again.
Oh, come on.
On the wood line.
It's classic LucifroN.
Oh,
this is where he thrives. Right, it's now diving in deeper. It's once again just so much idle time. The Spearman, do you get some good braces in, not immediately being target fired down? I don't know if he can keep affording this Lancer flop, but 10 for now is damn impressive. Scarlet, he doesn't have that in raw unit count. Oh my god.
And Scarlet, he's getting shoot down.
He might
no
just be
more
dead
knights
here.
in queue, but it's already +2 pierce armor.
And then oh my god, look at the bodies on that cow on the left. He's been working overtime on his own. It's the Bloomery. It was such a smart read. He got the extra little bit of damage to chip into this. The guarantees always 2-hit clubbing. And look at the difference now. 20 worker kills total. He amped it up. He 5x the advantage he had.
It's Malians, KP.
I mean, it is Malians, but it's a half Lani. It's not Fulani.
Yeah, it's still Malians. I'm still like, this is not over.
I think you've had some experience against Malians recently, haven't you?
Oh, not recently. It's been a while, but
they're just
it's etched
deeply
itself
scarred in
in
your brain. Yeah. Well, we are going to get the poor man's Barbican. I mean, he needs another push, but I feel like we're not that far off the point where you can kind of add in farms and not feel terrible about it as China. Like, this is a very big lead, considering it's still only 10 cow.
It is a very big lead, but the tempo it's kind of gone, right? Like, there's not that tempo remaining anymore. When we're looking at the army count, it's somewhat even. And the total income, KP, the total income is still in Malian's favor here.
That's true. He needs to do some of the units he's got, though. I wonder if this is maybe the whoopsie that could have been more optimal. Is like LucifroN If he'd been picking up relics while that last dive was going on.
We still don't have a second pit mine even yet for Scarlet Devil. He hasn't rebuilt it yet. Only 3 villagers on wood. He's just firmly investing into more and more sofas at the moment. A couple of additional villagers are getting sniped down. Still no textiles yet, so that villager is also going to go down. Very, very expensive losses there for him.
Yep.
Sofas, though, they're faster than the knights, so they will eventually chase him down.
Yeah, but this is what LucifroN's doing so well. It's just the 1-2 pull. He's been doing it the whole time. In fact, this is very reminiscent of the opening series. Do you remember the Wham Scarlet Devil one? Like this, there's the same issue for Scarlet Devil. Scarlet Devil wasn't able to handle multi-angled raids. It's the way that Wham unraveled him in the first, and I think it was the third game. Yeah, to me, Scarlet is a player looks like he's much better off when he's in control of the pacing. Whereas LucifroN, as we know, is a king of raiding.
Oh, Scout's gonna drop some of the deer off there. They try to bring back.
Yeah, the rest don't have anything. They're just in formation. There we go. Pull them away now. Sofa line is looking good right now. They're up to 20. LucifroN, I wonder if there's ever a one which you try to switch into some crossbowmen here.
Oh, there's a fight that he could take. Decides not to, though. He's gonna lose the sofa for it. We're getting to the point now where LucifroN's able to remass the knights, and with Spearman this time around, it's getting kind of scary since Scarlet Devil does not have the wood income to really flood archers. He's finally getting the veterancy upgrade on them, but that is not going to be enough with this count that he has at the moment.
But it's Malians. I thought we agreed on this. Oh man, he hasn't added in any more
straight now.
Keep pushing.
Able to take some units down. Even though it's only scouts, these are still potential meat shields here that could work for LucifroN fights.
There's a raid in the base again.
Yeah.
He just lost another worker or two. Yeah,
a
oh
couple
my
more.
God, come on.
Oh.
He's still here. He's still here.
We got textiles. Yeah, textiles not going to be good enough here.
Oh my God, though. Look at the main fight. The sofas. I don't think they're going to hold on. Nope, they have to get out of here. So, double win for LucifroN, as I think the Lancer only just went down after netting 3 additional kills. In fact, there's another ping in the base. He's still hunting Scarlet's economy.
That's the same Lancer. That's the same Lancer from just there.
Oh my God. Well, it's okay. We lost, what was that, an additional, like, 6 workers? But crackety, we added a cow. One whole cow.
Worth it. That's not the worst fight here.
Yeah. Overextension. LucifroN realized that it does start to back off now, but... Okay, is this now good enough economical lead for China?
Is it?
It's only double, you know?
Maybe? This is the thing, right? Like,
that was actually a sick engagement. Yeah, he engaged with fresh knights, then re-engaged immediately with the injured, guaranteeing he got the best DPS exchange without any losses. Continues to push in.
That's it.
Forces to stand ground, and that's the break point. That has to be. This is the end for Malians. I mean, if they somehow start coming back in this, they're going to be the new Mana Lancaster.
Yeah, this should finally be the moment now where the Malian Empire falls. Sure, they're able to remass for quite a time again, but there's an end at some point, right? And this is it. Malians losing it out against the Chinese here. Great play from LucifroN. Able to get just enough raids in, I want to say. I legitimately feel like, KP, even after a big fall-off, there was still a big chance for the Malians to come back in that one. It kind of looked like it.
I think I can see where you come from. I think the problem is, like, Scarlet, after he kind of recovered a little bit, there was no raid threat. You know, like, he was actually stuck reacting. This really goes down to praise for LucifroN, always finding that tree line. Like, that is the thing that killed Scarlet in this game, is obviously losing workers, but the added effect is forcing him to always go back. Like, he had 20+ sofa, and the best he can muster is trying to take a direct fight. You feel like as you're building that up, you should be diving into those berry locations, diving into that tree line. But LucifroN never gave him a moment to think.
Next up, we're going to be moving to the classic map, to the most classic of classic maps. It's going to be Dry Arabia. That's going to be a comfort pick for LucifroN here with the French. Scarlet Devil on the Byzantines, though. I don't know, KP. Like, whenever I see Byzantines, there's always the threat, of course, when they're up against French, of them finally understanding that camel riders in Castle H are actually pretty good, and they don't go for the trap of just going for the lone bowman.
Yeah, it's definitely been coming back into the picture. I think people just still worry about the presence and effect of javelins. Like, I've seen some players kind of worried that, like, if you see javelins added in, then the French player's just going to raw spam knights. But in theory, you still feel safe. You just build a quadrillion Limitane.
Gotta spam knights, KP?
Yeah.
Is that what they're gonna do?
That? Get a French player building only knights and then them beating spears? Like, that's crazy, right? That would never happen.
Yeah.
In a well-balanced game like Age of Empires 4.
Knights only? Nah. We gotta counter, like, rock, paper, scissors, right? Like, that's a key metric that we're playing with here.
Well, I'll tell you what
counter system.
I'll tell you what the non-cowards do. The non-cowards walk out to the trade post and they build French knights. Ooh.
Or just mass Musafati warriors.
That too. Yeah, I'll accept that one too. Otherwise, I'll happily accept a Byzantine resignation. Yeah, interesting one though, because I feel like this matchup, it's not just a stomper one way or one side is favored, right? Like, it's a very interesting dynamic because you have faster producing TC versus more efficient workers. There's these different timings throughout a prolonged game where either side actually has a clear advantage.
Gonna be going over the draft once more because we do want to find out the civilizations that have been sniped out here. For this now potential match point for LucifroN.
On a map like this, there's probably a Delhi pick that was banned out, I think.
Could be. There's an option.
I think Tuklak was drafted, but I would have been like, were they drafted or banned? Because like if they were drafted, I'm kind of wondering why they went and picked up Phrygian. Then again, LucifroN in the KPMM I think he lost 3 times in a row on Phrygian with Tuklak. So
Japan and Ottomans. Man, Scarlet, he really wants to play Ottomans, and LucifroN's just not letting him.
Yeah, seriously, 3 out of 4 maps he's tried the autos, and I mean, I don't blame him for putting this ban in, right? Like, Scarlet Devil scrims with Louis a lot. Louis, one of the most threatening Ottoman players. I feel like Ottomans is quickly becoming the Civ. It's almost reminiscent of Delhi. Like, if you don't know how to play it then like you're going to struggle at the pro level because this Civ has phenomenal feudal aggression and would have been a pretty spicy matchup. I mean, Japan versus Ottomans used to be one of Japan's hardest matchups. I think they fare a little bit better now, but I would say that would have still favored like Otto for the win.
Yeah, I'm still an Ottoman believer in that one. It's just Yumi archers versus Apache.
Yeah, it's a
you can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, like technically you can get your horsemen to the point they can contest Apache, right, with the extra melee tech plus the bannerman, but it's the delayed timings. But yeah, it's going to be a spicy one. That means like Kawasan is a final map. We could see a Knights Templar, Shushi, or Japanese. LucifroN's draft is beautiful for this final map. While Scarlet, I was right, he did draft the Tuklak, didn't choose them a little bit earlier. But I think Tuklak are phenomenal fishing Civ, so we'll see if they come out, see if we can get there. LucifroN may stop it from happening. We head into game number 4 with the Spanish man on match point. Role-playing as the French up against Scarlet Devils Byzantines.
And right next to LucifroN's main TC, we do have the Spanish mill. You know, when you try and optimize everything, you don't need the mill next to the berries. You can just put it next to the woodline. It's just there for wheelbarrow and pro scouts anyways.
And then there's someone in chat right now that'll be like, nope, I thought I clicked lumber camp. I've been there. We've all been there. Even pro players have been there. But Byzantines of Scarlet Devil, man, I don't know if you get this. I get flashbacks to a really weird build that him and Louis kept trying to do, where you would build the Grand Winery on the second berry patch out of your base, and then outpost spam back to your primary. It was really weird. I think they had like a 50-50 hit and miss with it, because it was kind of relying on your opponent not knowing what was happening.
Can we actually take a quick look at the trade post that's right next to Scarlet Devil's base? Because it's right there.
Ooh, so
right
fun.
there, man.
But, oh, come on.
Oh, nah. Yeah,
That's useless.
That's not really too desirable.
Could we check LucifroN's? Maybe there's a better option there for Scarlet.
Yeah, that's better.
There we go. Yeah, yeah. So okay, so
Yeah.
what we need a castle drop, and then you set up here in the castle age, and you build arbitrary to breach LucifroN's base. We figured out
You
the
make
condition.
one very long aqueduct all the way over as well.
No. You do it corner to corner, right? So you just run it up into your back left corner, then all the way to the north corner, and then all the way around. Because no one checks the very edge of the map like that, you know.
Yeah, nobody really looks at those type of things. Aqueduct now coming in is going to be going all the way over to the berries. Wait, is that that should be the big berry patch? Yeah, it's going to be the big berry patch there all the way in
And
the
the
back.
gold and the tree. Wow, yeah, this is a really good system to fall back to. He even has nice tree lines for kind of walling on the mid map.
Potentially, yeah. Skull Cavalry is now going to be coming in for LucifroN. No big surprise there. Especially with the markets in this position, there was never really a chance for Chamber of Commerce play. Not that we ever see that.
Yeah, I mean, Chamber of Commerce, I've been thinking about this. I think maybe it's just time we need to admit that it should be completely rejigged. I don't know what we're meant to do with trade landmarks. It feels like they're only meta when trade is OP. You know, like even Mongols. Look at Mongols right now. It's always Deerstone these days. And then what? Ottomans. Sultani kind of feels like a meme about 98% of the time.
Villagers now moving out to the wood line. Do we have system level 4 already on the way for Scarlet Devil? Still has 2 villagers on the stone. Not yet, but should have enough stone with the age up coming in.
Yeah, and usually, like, I think when you're playing against French, I've seen kind of two approaches of Byzantines. One is more defensive, where you just kind of, like, start 3 systems and then try to bulk up. The other is, like, you open 3 villages on stone and just try to rush the 5 before the first knight arrives. And that build has got a little bit harder recently because French players have started to skip pro scouts.
Skipping pro scouts probably not going to be the case here. LucifroN's still going to open up with that first knight, but pro scout's definitely still going to be coming in here for him. It's so much cheaper for the French. Actually, we're getting another economy upgrade in before that. And no, okay, we're actually getting survival techniques. Villagers moving out. LucifroN, he realizes that the chance of Scarlet Devil moving out to deny him any resource out on the map, slim to none.
Actually,
slim to none.
You know, the reassurance is, if you have a look at LucifroN's vision, he actually realized something very important. You know, he checked the back of Scarlet Devil's base and realized, ha! You do not have the ability to build French knights against me, so I'm safe. Tells you French seeing them straight away. Like, he literally knew.
That's the reason.
What a genius. No, but this is good. I mean, the world's healing, right? French player, it always kind of felt weird to me, French players going pro scouts. Like, it made sense, efficiency-wise, etc. But, like, this is the civ that should just feel safe to walk out, right? This is meant to be the cocky son of a gun that always wants to fight. So, you kind of want to see French players playing out like this, because whenever they were with the pro scout build, they got a better timing around 12 minutes, but they were sacrificing their aggression in the first 4 or 5.
Oh, Knight's gonna take the fight up against the Limitani. Doesn't quite get
coming.
the kill in. Oh, we got Akratoy. Akratoy just got activated. I heard the sound.
Yeah, that's quite premature, actually. I guess he's worried about getting clubbed on the villager instead.
And he just ran out.
Luce was like, oh. No reaction at all from the villagers. Like, we must gather berries.
And the Knight. Scout distracts the Spearman. Oh, Akratoy, never mind. Still active.
That must be running out soon, though, by now. Like, can we check the villager? I just heard it go again.
Yeah, just ran out.
Well, it's 2 knights now, and you've only got 2 spearmen. This is not great. He's going to rush an outpost up. Great
And
micro. He goes to the injured. And
The Scout
him
yet
with
again.
second.
Oh, that's 2 villagers down already. Painful
needs to get out
losses
now.
here for Scarlet.
Yeah, and this is how French have to play. Like, French, you know, we're talking about the different dynamics. Byzantines have percentile scaling. So really, for French to feel advantage, they have to find a few kills early. Because percentages are less valuable if you keep the number low. It's just basic math logic, you know? I done the math. Even I can do the math on that one. Whereas the French now, we've got kind of an interesting macro there. LucifroN holding to a lot of food. Wouldn't be expecting to rush the age, but after that raid, instead of pushing more knights, he now sees value in the chivalry.
And just being able to heal up all of those knights again, it's so much value to have LucifroN going for the second deer pack now as well. He's gonna have constant food access all around the map. And thing is, if he's going for a long feudal age play, or rather if he doesn't want to go into farms early on anyways, he's gonna have to walk villagers out on the map to begin with. So there's not really a big downside to him moving out to a deer if he then moves to the berries, which are right next to a deer, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, like it's a bit of an interesting like switch up, right? Like, would LucifroN just shift back berries as well as what I'm looking at with his spawn? The berries much closer, much safer, because by the time he exhausts these deer, there is a realm which Scarlet might have some sort of threat point on the map. Like, you know, especially if the goal is to try and just rush castle. Like, we're up to level 4 system already. Obviously, you're going to have to keep blowing Limitana to a count of at least 10. I am curious to see if this game is going to be more reminiscent of Game 2 from LucifroN, where instead of taking the free win into the next stage, he just threw everything at his opponent non-stop. Like, when you get hits like this as well, it's got to make you feel like you got to keep going. Great raid aim. Clubs down a few workers. Even leads with the full HP knight. He micros away the injured to guarantee maximum return with no losses.
This is such a masterclass here from LucifroN when it comes to just how to control knights as the French, and he's making this look so easy. KP, it's not. It's not that easy. It's just LucifroN.
Yeah, I mean, this is where he's always felt safe. You know, this was his signature civ for a long time. If you ask most players to describe LucifroN, they'll say Raider. And, you know, there's only a handful of people that can really shine up to the level of raiding potential that this man has, especially when he's given a civ like this. So Blacksmith
now coming in.
Yeah, and this could lead to like a dive point into the main base then, is the other thought.
Once that Pierce armor comes in.
Look at the knight count.
It's one of those things as well, KP. You wouldn't put it, like... You wouldn't blame LucifroN at all. Like, it's one of those things that he does, right? Like, he just micros out, like, the weak knights, even during a base dive, heals them up with chivalry, and just, you know, 2 minutes from then, they're gonna be fully healed up. He'll just use them for the next dive.
Yeah, it's something I've noticed with, like, LucifroN. He doesn't just click them somewhere stupid. Like, for example, if you check, I think on the tree line, he's got injured knights waiting on the east side of the tree line off screen to the right. You see on the minimap, there's, like, little yellow icons there. Either that or he's hiding the archers. Okay, it's just an idiot archer. We didn't talk about him. But, like, I've seen this way. He'll just scurry them off to a safe spot, but not all the way home. Whereas some players, they like to select all army, don't they? So they have to send them back home, garrison the TC. Otherwise, they're going to lose them. Does end up losing the scout. Not as tanky as the knights. But always just kind of getting out of there just before it becomes a real problem.
Yeah, loses anything. Javelin throws, trying to potentially get one of those knights down at the very least. Should be able to pick off one. Yeah, they get one.
Interesting, LucifroN, there was actually a charge onto the javelins there that would have got him away from the spears quicker. So he could have actually kind of punished Scarlet for even doing that. But Scarlet will get the win in that little fight there. Needs it because he's a little economy boy right now. 29 to 42 villages.
Yeah, already 7 villager kills. LucifroN, he really didn't hold back at all. Oh, this might be a little bit too much though for him.
What?
Oh, instantly loses 2 knights.
Lucky it wasn't more, really.
Oh, he's gonna keep that one alive.
Yeah, just one knight. Yeah, he gets the other one out. The archers
thought he
worked it perfectly.
I thought he would like go for the throw with the javelins. Didn't get him though.
I think
this was
it
a good
kind
trade.
of like Scarlet clicked on the knight, so then the archers just got to stand there like, I'm helping. But it's going to be counteroffensive. Scarlet's army's bigger right now. And that run by really hurt LucifroN. He needs time on those health bars to rejuvenate. Scarlet, so many Limitane as well. And we have to remember this was not a Pro Scouts play. So LucifroN's food is not safe underneath the TC. It is at risk.
Scarlet knows this. He sees that there's still deer remaining. So this is his moment now. Potentially punish what LucifroN's been doing here.
Kind of makes me wonder if LucifroN needed to send the archers across earlier. Considering the way he's playing the knights so well, it's almost like they became a liability, if anything. Well, he says, okay, if I'm stuck in my base, it's because you're sticking me there, so who's defending the villages at home? Starts to cut the reinforcements.
Oh, some good Limitani shots. These javelin throwers might be a little bit out of position, though.
Yep, that's going to be a freebie. Should be able to club him down and get away just in time. Even micros away, the Knight's closest to the spinner first and hangs around for the extra strike.
Oh my god, and behind us, he got even more kills. This man's
Seriously.
crazy.
Like, just think about how many people would have bulked under the pressure with that big army coming towards their base. Did LucifroN? Hell no. Just sallies forth like it's the final scene in the Two Towers from Lord of the Rings. Takes no crap from anyone and makes his own Gandalf as he's going to be clubbing straight in to the TC. Another worker kill. Might even be able to find more. The berries on the east side are relatively unguarded. It's going to be a counter dive, though. Scarlet now finding some French workers for revenge, but he just lost more eco at home. LucifroN just added another 4 kills.
Yeah, this is not something that Scarlet can really come back from anytime soon now. And LucifroN, he's now outmassing him. Army value, very far ahead. 4,400 to 2,800.
I mean, the cojones on this man, though. You got to kind of respect the way Scarlet tried to play that. Did he just bring everything home? No, because he knew it would have been a lost cause at that point. He just tries to counter raid. It's not a bad idea from this position. You know, your economy is really small, so your opponent has a lot more things that could be eliminated, is the way to think about it. Now, he might be at risk getting eliminated here. The Javelins up forward with a limited number of Limitane. They're going to be outnumbered.
There's none.
LucifroN just jumps straight in on it, and that is going to be a wipe of the forward army. Scarlet is trying to go castle behind this, so this just happened at the worst possible time.
Yeah, he's going to be completely unable to defend himself from the snipe. Now 25 archers against just 4 javelin throwers. There's still 10 knights out there from LucifroN, and he's just pumping up more and more. Scarlet hasn't begun the age up yet.
No, and the funny thing is, like, the archers didn't really participate for most of this game, if you think about it. LucifroN has pretty much been winning this game off of knights. But now, cherry on top, the archers are the ones that can deliver the killing blow. Scarlet only has 4 javelins. He just triggered the tech up. The Golden Horn Tower is coming in. I think LucifroN's aware of it. He's kind of biding his time here.
Starts torching down one of the cisterns.
No defense coming. Kind of sends alarm bells, really. And it is going to be a tech up. Yeah, LucifroN's got the soul read on him here. Just going to mirror him into the castle age.
Guildhall now going to be coming up. Doesn't even greed for the Royal Institute. He knows that he can take his time if need be.
Yeah, I think Royal Institute has become more of a this game is 150% over, or I am in really bad shape and need a big hoorah. Whereas, like, this is fairly over, it feels like, but not definitive. And it just gives you that bounce back, right? Like, if you don't get the kill point because, oh my god, Mangonel placement's annoying, etc., you can always say, screw it, I'm now going to go Imperial, and then I'll end you.
Nothing quite says GG like a red palace drop in your opponent's base.
You know what? We could actually sign up for that. And we could bring 20 villagers across, got a 20 worker lead. Worst case scenario, we even Stevens, you know? I always love how the guild hall starts on -1 resources.
It's only fair.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
fair.
it's such a strong landmark. If we didn't start at 1 tick behind, it'd break the game. So Scarlet, you did talk about Byzantines and their camels. Not sure if he's going to have the economy to get enough of those out to be a savior here, though.
Yeah, and the one knight still just being so annoying here.
Come on.
He's just causing idle time.
Stop.
This is...
Stop.
Yeah, and the overreaction here. So many Limitani getting pulled over there. That's
Oh my God.
most of Scarlet's army.
Can we check vision?
LucifroN's army?
'Cause I think Scarlet doesn't see that. That rotation.
No?
Yeah, he just got
He
stuck
doesn't
in.
know. Oh
that
my
goes down.
god. He
Or
doesn't
there's
have the
a
upgrade
creep in.
on the house.
Nice. He can cut him off here. He could look for a dive, but here we go. LucifroN starts to move in. Scarlet books it. For the Knights, they have their target. And that's half of Scarlet's alive economy. Archers hold back the Limitane, and the
There it
GG comes in. The hammer comes down. LucifroN will lock himself in the green at the end of the group stage, with Scarlet Devil finishing last.
Yeah, LucifroN able to secure that lifeline is going to be able to go into the playoffs in the upper bracket. Scarlet Devil, he has no more lifelines after this one. He's going to enter the playoffs in the lower bracket.
Yeah, no one getting eliminated, but we need to talk about this. Like, it can feel like you're eliminated, depending on your opponent, depending on the time you have to research, and also how things adjust, because for some weird reason, there is crazy adjustments that can happen in just 1 week. Because the other thing you have to think about is if you're now in that lower bracket, you may have been saving an ace up your sleeve, like a Hail Mary strategy. That's cool, but so could your opponent, right? They could have discovered some new form of cheese with Ottomans you've never seen before. So all that for Scarlet to worry about. LucifroN can breathe a sigh of relief. He will not finish top of the group stage, of course, because Wham was able to lock in the 3-1 victory over both Scarlet and LucifroN.